Hello, we're going to be looking at Math Lesson 1.2, and the lesson is titled Comparing Numbers to 100,000. One of the things that I like to do when I'm comparing numbers is I like to stack the numbers. Um, and one way to stack the numbers, there's a couple of ways that work really well. One way is to use graph paper. Um, you can, I don't know if you have graph paper, if that was in your package, but if you have binder paper, you can also use binder paper to stack your numbers. If you're a neat writer, then you don't have to worry about either. I'm a pretty neat writer, but I'm just going to use, I will show you how to use binder paper to do that, and I will also show you graph paper. And so if you're somebody that you have a little bit of a difficult time lining up numbers, these two kinds of paper can really help you with that. So if I'm comparing numbers on using binder paper, if we look in our book, we have two numbers that they're showing us. And they're saying that when we compare numbers, we're going to look and see if a number is greater than or less than, right? I'm going to use my magic tentacle in order to take a peek in our book. So we have greater than and less than. And so we're going to look to see if numbers are greater than. And we know that greater than looks like an alligator with its mouth open to the left, and less than looks like its mouth is open to the right. So when we compare numbers, we stack them. So you can see in our math book, they've made a place value chart and they've stacked the numbers. And we're going to do that on a piece of paper. I will show you how to do it on binder paper. And we'll write the exact same numbers that are in your math book on page 14. So if I'm looking at using my binder paper as a place value chart, an easy way to do that, I just tore this page out of my journal and out of my composition book. I'm just going to make a place value chart with this red line. If I want to use it more, I can just use a ruler and make another line to do it. So I'm going to start just using the red line. So in our book we have 10,000s, which looks like this, and then we have thousands, and then we have hundreds, we have tens, and we have ones. And they've given us two numbers. The first number is 93,085. And you can even draw a little line there if you want to. If you want to put one here too. And then the other number they gave us is 76,105. So when I'm comparing numbers, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to look at, I'm always going to go as far left as I can go to the 10,000s place, right? So this is the far left of the number, and I'm comparing 9 and 7. 9 and 7. And which number is greater? Well, 9 is always going to beat 7, so we're going to say 93,085 is greater than 76,105. And see how the binder paper kind of helps me to keep the numbers lined up? It makes it really easy. You're being tricky and using the binder paper instead of writing letters, we're writing numbers and we're using it sideways to do that. When you think of the greater than or less than sign, one way that I think of it as an alligator, right? So the alligator is always wanting to eat the bigger number. And since 93,085 is the bigger number, that is going to be the greater than sign, right? So that's pretty easy. Now we're looking at which number is less than. So in our lesson, we get the magic tentacle pointer here. We're looking to which number is less, 36,520 or 37,859. So I'm going to write these numbers out on my binder paper. and take a peek at them. You notice that we're stacking the numbers. It makes it really easy to compare numbers when you stack them. It makes it really difficult to compare numbers when you are too lazy to stack them. So we're always going to stack them. Sorry, the lights just went out. So I'm doing the next problem that's in the book, and I'm just going to put the two numbers down. So I have 36,520. And then I have 37,859. So again, I'm going to start. This time we're looking for less than. So I'm always going to start from the far left. I have threes in both the 10,000s place. So then I'm going to move over to the next place value, which is thousands. And 6 is less than 7. So I know that this top number is going to be less than the bottom number. So I'm going to write out the top number. And I'm going to write out less than. And I'm going to write out the next number. And again, remember our alligator always wants to eat the bigger number. So this is the less than number is going to be over here, right? That's the classic way of learning less than and greater than, right, is by using the alligator. When I taught 6th grade, I taught all the kids that were struggling with math, and so we still would make the alligators on every single one, which is kind of awesome. Okay, I'm going to switch over to using graph paper, and if you don't have graph paper, that's fine. You can either continue to use binder paper, or you can just use white paper, but just kind of be a little bit cautious and careful with stacking your numbers. So I'm going to fold hamburger, 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 and again, you can just use white paper to do this. It's totally fine. As long as you make your numbers pretty neat. And so again, I'm just going to have 8 squares. I like to do math this way because it makes it really easy for me to grade it quickly, and it's easy for you to organize your thinking. So we just put a problem in each square, and I am only outlining mine so that you can see it. You do not have to outline yours unless you want to see it and you want to make it crisp and easy to read. Here we go, our last line here. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that I write my name at the top. And I'm going to write lesson number 1.2. Okay, and we're going to be working on, let's see, I think we're going to be on page 15. And we're probably going to go on page 15 and 16. So I'm just going to write pages 15 through 16, just to be really clear, so that when I hand my paper to my beautiful teacher, she will know exactly what my work is relating to. Okay? So, this is guided learning, so we're going to be doing a bit of it together. And what I like to always do is stack my numbers. I think when you're comparing numbers, it's really important to stack them. And so I'm going to start out by using my graph paper. If you don't have, again, if you just have white paper, you can just stack them neatly. I'm going to start out with my 10,000s. This is going to be thousands, this is going to be hundreds, this is going to be tens, this is going to be ones, and I'm just going to stack them. So I start out with 90,000, 847. And then I have 69,948. And I'm looking at these two numbers. I'm starting out right over here to at the 10,000s place. And I can tell that 9 is greater than 6 right away, right? So that means that this number is going to be greater than. So I'm going to write the greater than sign right there. Okay? And you can even put a circle around it. In the book, it looks like this, and they're asking you to do it side by side. Side by side is a really bad way to compare numbers. It's easier to stack them, and so I prefer to always stack them. Okay, let's look at number 2. Number 2, again, I'm making my chart. It's going to take me 3 seconds to make a place value chart, and it's really going to help me to line up my numbers. So I have 64,515, and then underneath it I'm writing 65,500. So I'm looking to see which one is greater or less. I'm using my magic tentacle. I start over here at the left. These are the same. Oh, 4 looks like it's less than 5. So I'm going to write less than right here. And I'm going to circle it. Okay, so far so good. Here's number 3. Number 3, I have my place value chart, right? I'm going to put 10,000s right here, thousands right here, hundreds, tens, ones. And I start out with 31,256. And the number I'm comparing it to is 31,265. They're trying to trick us there, huh? By flipping the numbers. So I start right here with my comparing tentacle, and I have 3 and 3. They're the same. Again, I start at the far left, the 10,000s place. They're the same. I go to the thousands place. They're the same. I go to the hundreds place. Holy cats, they're the same. I go to the tens place, and 5 is less than 6. So I know that this number is going to be less than, right? Less than the bottom number. Okay? All right. Let's look at number 4. It looks again like they're going to be kind of tricky with us. And so I'm going to squeeze my ones place in here. So this is the 10,000s. This is the thousands. This is the hundreds, tens, and ones place. And so I have on number 4, 19,283. And then I have 19,289. So I take out my tentacle to compare. I start at the left at the 10,000s place. 1 and 1 are the same, so I move over to thousands. 9 and 9 are the same, so I move over to hundreds. 2 and 2 are the same, so I move over to tens. Oh, they're the same. Now I'm at ones, and the top number 3 is less than 9. So I'm going to put my less than sign right there. I'm going to squeeze it in. Okay. So far, so good. Let's do number 5. So number 5, we're going to squeeze in up here. Here's our 10,000s place. Here's our thousands. Here's our hundreds, tens, and ones. And we're going to start out with 42,100. And then it's asking us to do 41,000. 2. So I'm going to take my tentacle to compare, and I have my 10,000s place. They're both 4. So I move over to the next place value. The thousands place looks to me like 2 is greater than 1. So I'm going to say that this number is greater than the bottom number. Okay, let's do one more together. So again, I'm making my place value chart, and I'm going to kind of squeeze it. I might try doing it on the lines this time. So I have 10,000s. Then I have, that's probably not going to work very well. Then we're going to have thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones. And I'm going to go like this. So my first number is let's see, I have 16,935. And I'm going to compare that with 16,918. And so I'm going to put on my tentacle. I'm going to start over at the 10,000s place. They're the same. I go to the thousands place. They're the same. I go to the hundreds place. They're the same. I go to the tens place. This top number 3 is greater than 1. So I'm going to say that this number is greater than the bottom number. Okay? Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to put numbers in order from least to greatest. That's what it's asking you to do in your math book. Again, making a place value chart really helps with this. Really helps. So, I'm going to make a place value chart. I'm going to come down here a little bit. And most of my numbers, the 10,000s place is the largest that we have. So here's my place value chart, and they're asking me to put 3 numbers in order. So I'm going to go like this in advance, and I'm going to put the 3 commas. So my first number is 9,000. Whoops. Yeah. Nope. I put my comma in the wrong place. Uh-oh. I'm going to put my comma here. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, boop. Sorry. Put my comma in the wrong place. So I'm going to start out with 9,456. And then I'm going to have 73,000. It looks like my paper is a giraffe, huh? Sorry about that. 842. That number is way bigger, right? Because there's nothing here. There's an invisible 0 here, and 7 is greater than 0. So I can already tell this is greater than this, right? And then I'm going to put 30,512 down here. So if we're looking to see, it's asking us to put them from least to greatest. This one is definitely going to be the least. So I'm going to say this is number 1. That's least. Which one's greatest? This guy right here, because it has a 7. So that's going to be number 3. And this guy is the monkey in the middle. And that's going to be number 2. Okay? So if I want to write those numbers, I could say, I'm doing it from least to greatest, so I could say 9,456 is less than, and then I could say 30, that's a 3, 512, and that is less than 73,842, right? So you could also write it this way. I'm okay with you writing it this way, like it's a contest and this one came in number 1 because it's the least. That's fine. That shows me that you understand the concept. The mathematical way of writing it formally would look like this, with the number here is less than, the number here is less than, the number here. I'm okay with this though, because this shows me that you've made the chart and that you've stacked the numbers. Okay, let's look at number 8. This time we have 4 numbers. So I'm going to make the chart up here. And I'm going to put the chart right here. This is going to be the 10,000s place. Thousands, hundreds, tens, ones. And I'm going to stack my 4 numbers. So my comma is going to go here. And try not to mess that up again. Boop, boop, boop on all 4 of the numbers, right? First number is 41,325. Second number is 31,425. Oh, the lights went out again. I wave my arm. Wave a ruler around. That'll make the lights go back on. And then I have 51,324. And my last number is 14,000. That looks like the smallest one to me. 325. So I'm just going to rank them in order. I want to go least to greatest. So whichever the smallest one is going to be number 1 in my ranking. So I'm comparing the 10,000s place. I have a 4, a 3, a 5, and a 1. So I know, without even going to any of the other place value places, I know that this is going to be the smallest, right? This is the least. And I know that this is going to be the greatest because it has a 5. So that comes in 4th. And then this comes in 2nd. And this comes in 3rd in our little contest, right? So really you can see the beauty of stacking the numbers, that it doesn't take very long to stack them. And it really, really helps you to make sure that you get the problem correct when you stack them. They're modeling stacking for you in the book. See how they're showing you that you should be stacking them, and you should be stacking them. Sometimes kids get lazy and they don't stack them, and they just think, oh, I can just look at these. I can just look at these and I can tell. I can tell this one's bigger, right? But if you're stacking them, you're really making yourself sure of which one. You're ensuring a correct answer by putting a little extra work in, okay? So I always like to stack them. Let's do our last one. Number 9, we have order the numbers from least to greatest still. And we have 4 numbers this time again. So this is going to be our 10,000s place, thousands, hundreds, tens, ones. And also, when you're writing this little place value chart, it took 2 seconds to do that. But every time I do it, I'm reinforcing the learning in my head of place value. I'm reminding myself of the place value chart. And so that's kind of good to just repeat it over and over so that it sticks in your head. All right, so I have 4 numbers this time. I'm going to put my commas in, and I'm not going to blow it. I'm going to put them in the right spot. I have 27,084. I have 20,784. I have 27,840. This one looks kind of tricky. And then I have 20,874. Okay, so I'm going to put on my tentacle, my comparison tentacle, starting over here in the 10,000s. They all have 2s. So that means that I can't tell which one is the least or the greatest. Now I'm in the thousands place. I can tell that the top and middle one are tied. So I'm going to go on with those. I'm going to look at this next one is a 0 and this next one is an 8. So I can tell that this is the greatest. This is going to come in 4th. And I can tell that this is going to come in 3rd in our little comparison contest. Now I want to see which one is least. 0 and 0. This one has a 7. This one has an 8. So this one is least. Comes in 1st. This one comes in second in our comparison contest. Another way to write it is mathematically, you could say 20,784 is less than, and here comes number 2, 20,874 is less than number 3, 27,084 is less than 27,840. Okay? So, again, this is a more mathematical way of writing it out like a number sentence. That's kind of weird that math has sentences, but it does. It has number sentences. This is more of a, well, I'm having a contest and I'm stacking them and comparing them. I don't care which way you write it because I think stacking them is a very valuable learning process. So if you want to write it like this, that's fine. And skip doing that, that's fine. If you want to write them mathematically, that's fine too. You can do it either or you could be a crazy nut like me and do it both ways. Okay, now we're looking at the same thing, only this time we're looking for greater than, right? So if you're looking at greater than and you have these two numbers, you're still starting at the 10,000s place, then the thousands place is where they differ, right? And the greater number is 67,123 because the 7 is greater than the 5 up here, right? So now they're going to give us a place value chart right here in your book on page 16. And they're going to give you a place value chart and they have some numbers written out. And so we're going to write that place value chart and then we're going to answer some of these questions. Okay. All right. So let's write it out. We're going to make the place value chart kind of nice because we're going to use it to answer several questions. We're going to answer 10. We're going to answer 11. And we're definitely going to answer 12 with that same chart. Yeah, I think it uses the same chart for all of them. So I'm going to make the chart up here. And I'm going to use this line as like our little, this is 10,000s, this is thousands, this is hundreds, this is tens, this is ones. Okay. So my comma is going to be right here. And I have, and right here, I have 37,000. Sorry, my phone is, somebody's texting me. I hate texting. All right, and then I have this on the bottom as my bottom number. So they're really similar, aren't they? This is kind of evil. They have very similar characteristics, except in the 10,000s place, right? So look at the numbers in the place value chart and complete. So on number 10, it says 30,000 greater than 7,625 is, well, that's like me taking 30,000 and adding 7,625 together, because what they're saying is 37,000 greater than 7,625 is going to be the top number, right? That's going to be this number up here, which is 37,625. So that's our answer for the green box. And then it says green box is 30,000 less than 37,625. So in other words, we're taking the top number and we're subtracting 30,000 from it. And that's going to give us the bottom number, isn't it? Right? When I do this, I'm going to get the bottom number. So this is giving us the bottom number, right? All right, the next question says, find the missing numbers. And it says, let's see. It says, find the missing numbers. Okay. It says, find the missing numbers. And so we have 30,000 less than 34,200. So let's subtract. Let's take 34,200 and we're going to subtract 30,000 from that. And that's going to give us 4,200, right? And then number 13 gives us some new numbers. We're not working with these anymore. 13 says green box is 20,000 greater than 53. So we're going to say 20,000. And we're going to add 53. So we end up with, right? And that is greater, that's 20,000 greater than 53. Okay, we'll do the last few together. We're going to do 14. Right? Number 14 says 100 greater than 58,967. And we're going to say 100 greater than is going to equal this number. Right? And that is 100 greater. We just added 100 to it. And so 100 greater, we had to regroup there, didn't we? Because we had 10, so we had to cash in the 10, right? Let's do 15 and 16 just to finish out our page. And then we'll be done looking at comparing numbers, right? We do not have your math workbooks yet. There was some kind of problem with the company. So you guys are lucky this week. You get a little bit of freedom from worrying too much about homework because you don't have a math workbook. So this is going to be your math work that we're working on it just together. So you will eventually turn this into me, these pages into me, until your math workbooks come. Okay, let's look at 15. It says find the rule for each number pattern and then complete the pattern. So again, I'm going to stack them to find the rule because I think that really helps. It helps to stack them. When I stack them, I'm going to put my 10,000s over here. So let's see, I have 2,985. I'm going to put a 0 here, 2,985. And then I actually don't need a 0 there because they're all, let's say this is the 10,000s place. These are all going to be in the thousands. Right, so I don't have to worry about numbers over there. Then I have 2, 8, 8, 5. Then I have a green box. I don't know what this number is going to be. Then I have 2, 6, 8, 5. Then I have 2, 4, 8, 5. So I can already see my pattern. My pattern is happening right here, isn't it? In the hundreds place. These are the same, right? If I look at these, they're the same. This is where I'm seeing the difference, right? In the hundreds place. So let's look and let's compare and look at ways in which we can compare them. So if I start out with 2,985, I'm going down. I went down 1, right? And, Oh, I'm sorry, I left a green box out. Dee, dee, dee. Dee, dee, dee. I left a green box out. Let's put the green box right in here. I was wondering why that didn't really work very well. Then let's put the other number. I missed the second green box. 2,485. So we're really looking at this, right? So we have 9, 8. What do you think this number is going to be? 9, 8, 6, 4. I think this is probably going to be a 7, right? This is going to be a 5. These are all going to obviously stay the same. These are all going to stay the same, right? Because we're only worried, the pattern is only relating to the hundreds place, right? Sorry about this. Hope that didn't confuse you, throw you for a loop. Okay, let's do the last one. There's only one green box on the last one, so I can't mess this one up too badly. The reason why I'm not stopping and filming again is because, and redoing this, is because sometimes you make mistakes. And when I'm teaching you in class, I will make mistakes on my paper. You'll make mistakes on your paper. And luckily, you'll be working with pencil. When I'm doing math, I never use a pen. When I'm doing math, I use a pen so you can see it. But when I was a kid, I always used a pencil because I wanted to erase. So I always use light pencil, just like when I was drawing, so that I could erase. So there we go. So I'm going to do the last one. I'm going to make the place value chart. Anyway, I'm modeling that it's okay to make mistakes because you're going to make mistakes all the time in life. And the trick is fixing them. And you can fix them kind of neatly. This looks pretty neat. My teacher would still be able to figure out that this is the green box and this is the green box. So it's okay. It's not a bad mistake. All right, 16. I have 4 numbers and the third one, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's going to be the green box. And I have, and it's actually going to be bigger. We can even go like this. Boop, boop. So I have on 16, 97,642. Then my second number is 77,642. Then I have the green box, and then I have 37,642. Well, when I'm looking for a pattern, these guys are all the same, aren't they? So I know the pattern isn't in the hundreds, tens, or ones place. Also, these are the same too. So it looks to me like the variation, the change is happening right here in the 10,000s place is where I'm seeing the correlation between the numbers that they're changing, right? So if I have a 9 here and I have a 7, what's the relationship between 9 and 7? I kind of think of it as patterns have relationships, right? So I'm looking for the relationship between 9 and 7. And I can subtract 2. I can say minus 2 is a relationship. 9 minus 2 is 7. 7 minus 2 would be, if I continued that same pattern and I said minus 2, it would be 5. Does the same pattern hold true? Is 5 minus 2 3? And the answer is yes. So my number would be 57,642, right? You're always looking for relationships or correlations between numbers. Now you have to be careful because sometimes patterns can get greater, right? I might have minus 2, then minus 3, then minus 4, then minus 5. That happens sometimes. Or it can add on, right? The pattern can get larger. So you have to kind of be careful when you're figuring out the relationship. Sometimes it's not always going to be a consistent number, like minus 2. Okay, that was our guided practice for lessons 1.2. I hope that helped you to figure out how to compare numbers, and also a little bit how to order numbers. What I really want to stress here, and I'm going to use my tentacle, snapping tentacle to stress it, is line up the numbers. When you line up the numbers and you stack them like pancakes, this becomes very easy. When you don't line up the numbers, this becomes very challenging and you make lots of silly, stupid mistakes, right? So I'm encouraging you and I'm modeling for you lining up the numbers, okay? Please line up the numbers. I'm begging you. If you line up the numbers, you will almost always be successful. If you don't line them up, you will be successful some of the time, but probably not all of the time, right? So it's really a good idea to line them up. One strategy for lining them up is to use graph paper. Graph paper is kind of expensive. And so if you don't have graph paper, another way of lining them up is to use binder paper, right? You can do your work on binder paper. If you want to use 2 pieces of binder paper because it's too small for you to fold it, that's fine too. If you want to use white paper, usually we use white paper for math. And if you want to use white paper, just make sure that you're lining the numbers up neatly, okay? And you will find success when you're stacking the numbers like pancakes. All right. I will talk to you later. Thanks for watching.